Hey, Mr. Lighthizer, you have always been so responsive, and you mentioned deportment. You speak to senators on a regular basis. I am one of those. Thank you very much. One thing that is important to my state, which has not yet been discussed, is India importing shrimp. And since the EU has put phytosanitary restrictions upon Indian shrimp, they are flooding the U.S. market, which is negatively impacting domestic producers. Now, if it was fair trade, that would be fine, but they subsidize. As you know, they subsidize their aquaculture. And so that subsidy, with the restrictions, ends up disadvantaging our folks disproportionately. I will note, if EU finds their shrimp unsanitary, I'm a little reluctant to have that shrimp in our state for health reasons, but that is almost a side issue. So with that kind of preamble, and knowing that USTR just announced the termination of India's GSP status last week, what additional authorities would the administration consider or feel as if it needs to address this shrimp dumping issue?
Well, I mean, I'm generally aware of the problem with shrimp. We have laws in place, as the senator knows, that you can bring cases and this industry has availed themselves of them at the Department of Commerce on anti-dumping, but also more importantly in the case of India, countervailing duty cases, in the event that you can show injury. And in this case, at least there's a history where the shrimp industry has been able to show industry, our injury. If the senator has specific ideas, I'm happy to go forward. Generally, in a situation like this, you're better off bringing litigation. As you know well, I've brought a lot of this litigation over the years, and it's a very effective remedy to actual subsidies. In this case, I don't know anything about the sanitary issue. I'm happy to raise that with the Department of Agriculture, which is, which I think has jurisdiction over that, and I'm happy to do that, and I will do it to see whether there is some avenue that's being overlooked.
Now, it seems as if going to that point, this seems like knowing that it's difficult to do this, but it does seem a scenario in which a kind of all-of-government response would be nice to have. FDA, for example, looking at the phytosanitary aspect of it, I don't know if a 301 tariff would be adequate to get India's attention, but India so far has not paid attention to this. There's antibiotics and allegedly fecal material being found in the farms where these shrimp are being grown, and which the EU finds objectionable. But to what degree could we hope for a coordinated response where, for example, I understand right now if there's a sanction, if shrimp is found to be contaminated, it's a business-to-business transaction. This shipping business is then sanctioned. On the other hand, it really should go back to the farmer, because a farmer might be supplying several export businesses, and if you just sample and find this one is bad, but you don't sample this, it is actually the originating farm, which is the issue. Again, it's phytosanitary, not trade, but on the other hand, it ultimately involves trade, if you follow what I'm saying.
No, I do, Senator, and we are concerned with phytosanitary standards. Usually we're on the other side of it. We're objecting to other countries that are using them artificially as a form of protectionism. But in this case, I'm happy to look into this. I don't know, what the Department of Agriculture does in this situation. I'm happy to look at it. And to the extent there are countervailing duty cases, I'm sure that the industry is looking at them. We have had trouble, as you know, we have given notice that we're going to stop the GSP program for India. And it's because largely there's been a very large number of trade access problems that we've had on which they have shown really no interest in making improvement. So the president has given them notice, and that's going to go forward unless there's some change in the situation. This is an issue, that I'm happy to raise in that context.
Sounds great. One more thing. I have 30 seconds left. I'll point out I understand the USMCA does have a Something I've been interested in is trade-based money laundering. My understanding, the USMCA does have new provisions allowing for the two governments, Mexico and the United States, to collaborate more effectively in terms of looking at the financial aspects of it, if you will, correlating invoice with manifest. We'd love to work with you on that because I think that is a way cartels move billions out of our country, and it's something that, again, speaking of all of government, it seems like it will take an all of a government to address.
Senator Thune.
Thank you.